So when an Enneagram Type 4 or romantic develops an addiction, there are certain things that you can be on the lookout for. Now, I find that Type 4s can fall into addictions because they really do struggle a lot with who they are, how they fit into the world, and sometimes depression. Now, because of the Type 4's desire for intensity and depth and richness in life, they can tend to fall into addictions that amplify things. It's not so much that they seek out any one type of chemical or drug or substance. It's more what they're using that substance to do. They may be using that to amplify emotional connection with other people. Sometimes they use the substance to numb out the intensity of all those emotions because they can let themselves get so bogged down in the emotions that they become overwhelmed by them. There's one particular Type 4 girl that I've seen for a very long time, and she calls it being in the pit. Now, if you're a Type 4, it's important to remember that you can't really just bypass the emotions. Type 4s really want to dig in deep and process all the feelings that they're going through. And sometimes, even as a counselor, it can feel like they're never going to come out of the other side, but they eventually will. And it's important to remember to give yourself the time to do that, and to remember that's the way that you sort through things to make sense of your emotions. And so here's a little information about Type 4s in the treatment and recovery process. I find that of all the types, Type 4s really actually enjoy the therapeutic process because it gives them such a great avenue to sort through all those feelings that they have. Now, when I have Type 4s in our recovery groups, what I love about the Type 4 is that they have an ability to bring the group back to what's authentic. So if the group tends to get a little too off track and too silly or go down too many rabbit holes and lose focus on what we need to be doing, the Type 4 has a good ability to sort of bring everybody back in focus, because they don't have a lot of tolerance for all that silliness and avoidance. Now, while that can be really cool sometimes in group, it can also be difficult because most people don't have the ability to stay with those emotions for as long as you do. So it's okay to leave a little room for a little nonsense and even a little avoidance by people sometimes. In my experience, Type 4s really crave the one-to-one type of therapy though, because it allows them more time to explore who they are and what's going on inside of them. Now, here's where I want you to be really careful though. That tendency to feel unique and different can be a little problematic in the recovery process, because while almost anyone that has a substance use disorder, like an addict or an alcoholic, we all have a tendency to want to be like, well, I'm different, I don't have to do this, because a Type 4 feels that even stronger. So you've got that regular addictive thinking like, I'm different, that doesn't apply to me, only amplified because now you've got the addiction part and the romantic part of you. And a big part of recovery is facing the fact that you do have an addiction that is like the other people, and that those rules do apply to you as well. Now, another thing that I really want you to think about is that it's okay to look at the good qualities of yourself. That doesn't mean that you're not authentic or not genuine. And I really want you to be able to develop the lighter side of yourself. That'll help you find more balance and satisfaction in the recovery process.